We're live. We're doing it. It's here. The first ever Dolphins Talk Extra interactive mock draft is happening live right now. If you're watching live, if you're one of the Dolphins Talk Extra subscribers who is not participating but is watching, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. If you are somebody who is watching this after the fact, you missed out. But this is why. This is one of the perks of being a Dolphins Talk Extra subscriber is you can be involved in something like this. So we have got 11 members of the Dolphins Talk Extra subscriber base here with us this evening. You can't see them all right now. They're all hanging out backstage. We're going to bring them on stage one at a time to make their draft picks as we go here. But they're all here. Trust me, they're excited. I can tell you that Zane is particularly excited because we've brought him onto the stage twice already as a guinea pig before we got started with all of this. So it's I know for a fact that Zane's all fired up here. But Mike, before we get started, you can't see this if you're watching this or listening to this, but I can see that Zane is backstage right now, and he's. He basically just did a flip in his office there. So it's all very exciting. But Mike, you're as the commissioner, would you like to say a few words before we begin the draft here?
Yes, I would like to welcome everyone to the very first Dolphins Talk Extra interactive mock draft. Thank you all for being extra members first and foremost, and thank you for taking at least an hour or so out of your Friday evening on this Good Friday. But it's not just a good Friday. It's going to be a great Friday as we are here at the draft and we're going to have a lot of fun. And again, there's only two rules. A, know your pick. B, don't pontificate, don't bloviate, or we will play you off. You get roughly 2 minutes. That's it. We don't need the draft history of the Arizona Cardinals, even though I have them now. You know what I mean. Make your pick. But welcome nonetheless to the Dolphins Talk Extra interactive mock draft.
Yes, indeed. We're very excited to do this. Here's how it's going to work. We've got the three of us here on the screen as you're watching. If you're not watching, if you're listening, disregard this portion. But basically, everybody's backstage. We're going to bring you on stage when it's time for you to make your pick. You will tell us who you would like to draft, and we will enter the pick for you. We are using ProFootballNetwork.com's mock draft simulator, NFL draft simulator. So we will be using that to make our picks. Those of you who've been listening for a while know that we've had David Behrman of Pro Football Network on for a handful of shows here this offseason, helping with our draft coverage, and we are very grateful to him for that. And he has graciously volunteered the Pro Football Network draft simulator for this purpose. So that's what we're going to use. So you will tell us the pick. You can follow along with the players available based on the screen, what we're showing you, because I'm sharing my screen here so you can see where I'll officially be making all of the draft picks, or you can follow along with your own chart, your own tables, with players ranked how you need them. But please just make sure you're following along. We don't want to have anybody drafting somebody who has already been drafted. That would be a major.
You're going to get booed. You're going to get booed loudly.
You will get booed. So we're going to try to keep this light, try to keep this fun, try to keep it moving along. We're excited and very grateful to have all of you here. Thanks for being subscribers and thanks for volunteering to jump in on what is something of an experiment, this first interactive mock draft. But we're excited to have all of you here with us tonight, and I think that's basically it. Brain, do you want to add anything to this before we get going?
No, I'm ready to go. Let's get this thing moving.
Well, then let's get this party started, and we're going to do that by bringing to the stage the one and only Jacob Fowler, who is drafting first overall for the Tennessee Titans. Jacob, how are you this evening?
I'm great. Excited to be here.
Well, we are excited to have you here and very excited to allow you to take the floor for the first pick in our 2025 Dolphins Talk Extra mock draft. Who are the Tennessee Titans taking today?
Well, I'm not going to take the whole 2 minutes because everybody knows who this pick is, and it's the quarterback out of Miami, Cam Ward.
Excellent. We're going to go ahead and make that pick. Is there anything that you're thinking of in terms of, did you think at all about going any other direction, or was it pretty much like,
I
no,
mean,
it's
I
Cam
thought
Ward?
of going crazy, but I kind of want to make my picks to what I think they're actually going to pick as the teams. So that's why I had to go Cam Ward. Otherwise, I might have gone, edge rusher or something, but that's who they're picking, so might as well go with them.
All right. Well, we will see you a little bit later in the evening because you've not one but two more picks to make
Yes,
tonight.
sir.
But I like it. Can't disagree with Cam Ward going first overall. So we're going to send you back into backstage, and we're going to bring up next the intense farmer himself, Zane. Welcome to the stage. This time, we're going to let you speak a little bit as you're going to make the second pick in the draft for the Cleveland Browns.
I, on the other hand, am going to make things crazy. Some might call it a reach with taking Xavier Restrepo second. I'm just like,
whoa.
No, I think it's kind of similar. It's between Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter. I think that the Browns, also trying to keep it realistic, they're kind of in the same boat as Miami. They need to get their butts in the stands during the season. So, hey, let's go watch this guy play 120 snaps a game. And with the second overall pick, I think they're going to take Travis Hunter, cornerback,
there it is,
wide receiver out of Colorado.
Travis Hunter. Pro Football Network has him listed as a cornerback, but we know that he's also going to play some wide receiver. So the draft pick has been made. Thank you, Zane. We'll hear from you a little bit later in the evening. So far, I would call this chalk.
So far, yeah.
So far,
that's good. That's good.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with chalk. Next up, we have the New York Football Giants, and we're going to bring up Dolphins 618 Mike to the stage. So we've got two mics on the stage now. Mike, Dolphins 618, how are you this evening?
Wonderful. How are you guys?
Doing good.
Having
Great.
a fantastic Friday. I ate a large soft serve ice cream cone. Wasn't a large.
That's
it
the
was
best.
technically a small, but it was a lot of ice cream. And then my kids didn't finish theirs, so I ate theirs as well. So I've had a lot of ice cream this evening.
Side note, real quick. Have you seen that the Foodie Ninja makes an in-home countertopped soft ice cream maker for like $300?
I have seen that.
It looks awesome, but I talked to someone who has it. They said it sounds like an airplane's in your kitchen. It's so loud, but it does make very good soft ice cream.
Well, you got to take the good with the bad.
Exactly.
So, Mike, speaking of taking the good with the bad, you're drafting for the New York Giants, but I assume there's going to be a good pick in your future.
Yes, sir. I think, given the whole Shadir Sanders, I think, he would be a good pick here for them, but I don't think they'll do that having Russell Wilson and others there. I think they'll probably end up going with Abdul Carter, edge from Penn State. I think that's the best player on the board. I can't see how they would pass him up. It's not necessarily a need, but I mean, you're not going to pass on Abdul Carter there.
Absolutely. So is that your pick officially?
Yes, sir.
All right. Abdul Carter goes at number 3 to the New York Football Giants. Thanks, Mike. We'll talk to you in a little bit.
Thank you.
Moving right along, we're up to draft pick number 4 in the draft, and this one is going to be by our very own Aaron the Brain. Aaron, who you got here at 4?
So this was I had a few guys in consideration here for the Patriots. They could go defensive tackle, they could go offensive line, they could go wide receiver. For me, they've spent a lot of free agency dollars on shoring up that defense. It's time to protect your investment in Drake May. And so I'm taking the top offensive lineman on my board for them, Will Campbell. Some say they're concerned that he could play tackle because he has average arm length. I'm not all that concerned about him. I think he's got ample athleticism, footwork, technique. Will Campbell is my pick right there for the Patriots.
There it is. The Patriots draft Will Campbell at number 4. And that is going to lead us to the 5th pick in the draft, which is the Jacksonville Jaguars. And we've got Abel who's going to join us. And let's see if I can find Abel backstage. Here he is. Abel, how are you? Are you there?
Hi, I'm good, guys. How about yourselves?
Hey, Abel.
Excellent.
Yep.
Okay,
Hey,
so
guys,
now
Phoebe?
I need to know, are we saying your name correctly? Is it Abel?
Yeah, you got it, Josh.
Okay. All right, Abel. Like the Bible.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. Well,
Um,
Abel, I'll turn it over to you. You've got the 5th pick in the draft for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Who do you like here in this spot?
All right. Real quick though, I just want to shout out to my brother because he let me borrow the hat. He's a Jaguars fan, so
There we go. Look at that.
Love to do
Love
all.
it.
That's it.
That's good. I appreciate the preparation on your end there too. That's great.
Yeah, I was happy when you did the announcements and I got him, so that's crazy. But with the 5th pick in the 2025 draft for the Jaguars, I want to defensive tackle Michigan. You know, they need to fortify their trenches just like we do. Best defensive tackle here on the board. So there you go.
So you're going with Mason Graham of Michigan, is that right?
Yeah, Mason Graham.
Okay. There it is. Mason
Now,
Graham
hold
of
Now, hold on here. We have a live look at the Jacksonville Jaguars draft party taking place right now. And the owner's son is on stage, and he is reacting to your pick. Let's get a live look right now.
wow.
Big fan of the pick, Tony Khan. Big fan.
Tony Khan likes the pick of Mason.
Like,
He likes that Mason Graham pick. Excellent job. Abel, thank you very much. We'll talk to you in a little bit. That is great. I love that.
I got more of these sprinkling throughout the night, folks.
Good. We want to try to keep it light. We want to try to keep it light. Well, so speaking of keeping it light, the Las Vegas Raiders are up next, Mike, and that pick is yours. So who are you taking at number 6 overall?
Well, kind of like
or Tom Brady's Las Vegas Raiders.
Kind of like Abel, you got to dress for the part. And if you're going to pick for the Raiders, you got to look like a Raider. So I found this eye patch. So I'm going to put on my eye patch as I pick for the Raiders here.
Amazing.
I can't see anything really. Okay, here's the deal. This eye patch sucks. The Raiders stink, but we got 2 major needs. The offensive line stinks, and we got nobody who can carry the ball. So my logic is Armand Membo or Ashton Gentry. And I think with the 6th pick, people say you can't take running backs this high, blah, blah, blah. I think the world's changing. We're going back to a world where running backs are valued. So give me Ashton Gentry, running back, Boise State at number 6, going to the Raiders, and they're going to run the ball. And they got Geno Smith to pass the ball. They're going to play action pass with Gentry. Might get nobody to catch the ball yet, but there's rounds 2 and 3 to figure that out. Ashton Gentry to the Raiders.
Early reports suggest that they're going to paint the field in Vegas. They're going to paint it blue, just to make it a familiar setting. Yeah, for Jim.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. And we do have some feedback about the Raiders pick from heaven.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing. Just win, baby.
Just win, baby. Let's go.
I like it. A very good pick, Mike. An excellent pick there. Ashton Gentry, number 6 to Raiders. And now that means we have to bring up Mr. McDolphin, who has the unenviable task of making a pick for the disgusting, horrible, terrible New York Jets.
You might have to sing a song after this pick that you two are known to sing.
Yeah, that's
Mr. McDolphin, how are you, sir?
I'm good. Mike's kind of reading my mind because the preparation for this, I told you guys that I'm a draft guy. I love watching the draft. I love this time of year. So I was like, okay, I guess it's the fucking Jets. I have to, I got to do it. I was like, I don't like the Jets. I hate the fucking Jets. I don't want to talk about the Jets for 2 minutes. And then it hit me. That's what you're talking about, Mike. It hit me. Twice a year I love singing about the Jets. There ain't nothing like it.
That's right.
So, Josh, I would like to spend my 2 minutes. Will you lead us off and let's sing the song?
Oh my God, we're singing the song. Are we singing the song in the draft?
Let's do it.
All right, everybody, all together. Here we go.
I want to spend it.
Oh. Fuck the Jets. Fuck the Jets. Fuck the fucking Jets. Fuck the Jets. Fuck the Jets. Fuck the fucking Jets. Fuck the Jets. Fuck the Jets. Fuck the fucking Jets. Fuck the Jets. Fuck the Jets. Fuck the Jets. Unbelievable.
This is the best draft pick ever tonight.
I have no idea how that's going to come out because we're all online. So there's delay issues and all kinds of things, latency issues. But regardless, I can't wait. All right.
A month to fucking come and talk about the Jets for 2 minutes. That's not gonna happen. Fuck the Jets. No, seriously, they got Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn comes from a team that knows how to build a good team that's through the trenches. This is easy. Ahmad Mimbo, drop him in at right guard. He's right beside another first-round draft pick in Elijah Vera Tucker, and there you go. Their offensive line.
Yeah. Now
Easy
look, we got a
peasy.
lot. That's an easy. Yeah, we got a lot of feedback.
I was getting scared when you were talking, Mike, and I thought you were gonna. And I was like, oh my god, dude, really? And,
yeah, I know. I mean, I think this draft at 4 really takes a turn where it could go any which way. But yeah, and we do have some feedback here. First, let's look in the stands. Oh, here's a Jets fan. He's confused. Shocking. Most Jets fans are confused. He don't know what the fuck's going on. And then
wanted me to pick Sanders. That's what he wanted.
Yeah, he probably wants Zaire Sanders. And then let's go to Mel Kiper at the table.
It's obvious to me right now that the Jets just don't understand what the draft's all about.
Mel hates your pick, but that's okay because you probably hate your pick because fuck the Jets.
Fuck the Jets. And fuck
there we go. Well, thank you, Mr. McDolphin, for making that pick. We'll come back to you a little bit later in the evening, but we are going to move on to pick number 8 in the draft. It's the Carolina Panthers, and Ray Quevedo is going to join us on stage to make this pick. So, Ray, welcome to the show. How are you?
Got to follow that.
You guys, how's everything?
Everything is good. Yeah, I'm sorry that's what you have to follow, but
yeah, mine's not going to be as entertaining. Straight to the point. I was just kind of looking at some of the draft things, and for the Carolina Panthers, I'm going to go with Jalen Walker. I think they need some help with defense, and that just looked like the obvious pick, really, just because I was debating over wide receiver between Tatario McMillan, but then I realized the defense just was so bad last year, so they needed some help out there. So I think that was the obvious pick there.
I think it's a smart pick. It's a solid pick. And as that team looks to try to raise their floor and maybe they've figured it out with their quarterback situation, I do like that pick to try to boost their defense there. So a nice pick there.
And he's the one guy who's like most people have in their top 10 that nobody's talking about. Everyone talks about the offensive lineman. Everyone talks about Ward and Sanders if he were to go. They talk about, all these guys. No one talks about Jalen Walker to the point it's like it's just assumed he's going to go in the top 10 and he's a great player, but he gets like no pub at all, really, which is kind of weird. But no, he's very good.
Do you think
he might be the guy that?
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ray.
Go ahead.
He might be the guy that we'll be talking about a couple of years from now. Like, man, how do people pass on him?
I think so.
I'm gonna ask Ray this, and you guys feel free to add on. But Ray, do you draft Jalen Walker here thinking he's more of just a stack linebacker that just plug him right in the middle, or is he more of an edge rusher for Carolina?
I think it's going to be more of an edge rusher for them, just because they need to get to the quarterback. It's just for them, they haven't had anybody there, so that's why they need that presence, like that guy that they can say, "Hey, this is our linebacker right now." So that's kind of the way I looked at it.
I love it, and that makes it, in my opinion, that's where the value in him is that if he's just a stack linebacker, I don't know. That's where I could see him drop. But if you like him as an edge and as a guy who can kind of be a versatile piece that you can move all around, I love that as a top 10 pick.
And I've seen a few mock drafts where they have him falling outside of the top 10, but heading to Miami at 13, because I think he's a guy, Chris Greer. We know Chris Greer would love. And if like the two corners happen to be gone or something, what does Greer do? I could see him falling in love with him. And then fans are gonna be like, why are you taking someone edge? Why? Because you're probably not gonna have Chubb this year or Jalen Phillips after this year, I should say. And someone like him, opposite Chop, would be a nice little 1-2 punch moving forward. But I could see if he does fall out Those the top 10. Greer's going to love a guy like him.
Big time.
Absolutely. Well, Ray, thanks for making that pick. We'll talk to you in a little bit for your next pick. And that brings us to pick number 9. And that's me. And I am picking for the New Orleans Saints. And this is a really interesting one because I was pretty dead set that I was going in one direction with this pick. But things have changed in the world of the New Orleans Saints. And there is now uncertainty surrounding Derek Carr. And that really brings to the surface the idea of if you're not sure that you've got the guy that is your next franchise quarterback, you probably need to continue to draft a quarterback every year until you've got that guy. And I think in this draft, the opportunity for the New Orleans Saints to find that guy is Shedeur Sanders. And so as much as I was thinking that I was going to go Will Johnson here, I'm taking a hard left turn and I'm drafting Shedeur Sanders, quarterback from Colorado, to the New Orleans Saints at pick number 9 overall.
It makes a lot of sense. They have to get a quarterback. The talk on Sanders is weird. If his last name was Smith, I think people wouldn't talk about him the way they do. I'm not worried about his dad chiming in. His dad's got a full-time job at a Power 4 school. He didn't have time to be chiming in about his son every week. And I think it's the right head coach for him with an offensive-minded coach. Indoors helps. I like the pick. I like the kid. I think he's going to be good. That's a good pick.
Yeah, I think there are, aside from like his dad, there are some character concerns. He had that incident where he got into an altercation with, I think it was a security guard, and it is very widely publicized. And so there.
Yeah, but who among us has not had an altercation with a security guard?
Well, he knocked the security guard out.
Who among us has not knocked a security guard out at some point or other?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think when you add in, that and his dad, I mean, but at the end of the day, if like you've talked to him and you're comfortable with him as a person, I think his play on the field speaks for itself. I think going into this draft cycle before the combine and everything, the initial mock drafts that came out had him and Cam Ward like 1A, 1B.
Yep.
Yeah. So the fact that like he's like dropping in mock drafts to like the middle of the first round, late first round, to me, it could potentially be an absolute steal for the Saints at number 9. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I see a lot of people know, everybody knows that each team gets to have a certain number of team visits with draft prospects. What a lot of people don't know is that I also get to have team visits with a lot of draft prospects. And based on the conversations that I have had with Shedeur Sanders, I think he would be a perfect fit culture-wise for the New Orleans Saints. So
that's how you take this seriously. You took this real seriously. You actually met with Shedeur Sanders.
I had Shedeur Sanders in here. I had Tonka Hemingway in here. I had all the guys. I had all the guys making decisions here at the same old Dolphin studio. But
I love that you go the extra mile, but you just would not take that last leap and get the Saints hat.
No, why would I do that? That's disgusting. I did almost wear my Duke's Mayo necklace, though. So I want you to know.
That would have been great.
So anyway, let's move on to the next pick of the night because it's, I believe it's Anthony Mancini is going to come up here. And Anthony is going to draft for the Chicago Bears. Anthony, how you doing?
He's on mute.
Anthony is muted. Uh-oh.
Sorry about that. How we doing, guys?
You're fine. You're fine.
All right, Anthony. How about yourself?
Good. First thing, just want to thank Mike for making me a writer, allowing me to write the Dolphins. It's been
great work.
Been a great experience so far.
Awesome. Glad you're happy.
Because I'm picking for Chicago, Mike. I mean, do I have a CM Punk video or?
You know what? I have something for you. I don't have a CM Punk video though, but I got something for you.
Okay. I mean, I did my research on this one. I mean, this one could be. I mean, it could be Mike Green, Shamar Stewart, or Kelvin Banks. They need edge rushers. They need offensive line. I don't want to take Will Johnson because I want the Dolphins to take him so bad. So I'm like, I'm not going to take him.
But I hope the Bears take this approach.
30 other GMs thought like you, Chris Greer would look like a fucking genius.
I know. I mean, the golden ticket for me is Armand Membu, but that will never happen unless they trade up for him. So that ain't gonna happen. I'm gonna take Shamar Stewart, edge rusher.
He's built out of granite. I mean, the guy is just a physical freak, and he's great. Now we have a live look here at the Chicago Bears watch party, and we have some of their super fans here who are going to chime in with the pick, give you their thoughts. I think they're happy with it.
The Bears.
The Bears.
They seem very well pleased for you, Anthony. You did good work, I think.
Excellent.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Anthony. All right, let's head on to the next pick in the draft, which is it's going to be Brady drafting for the San Francisco 49ers. So if I can find Brady backstage, here's Brady. Brady, how are you?
Hey, guys, look at this.
There we go.
Oh.
Just like the San Francisco 49ers war room. They're going to be wearing Miami Dolphins merch. I love it.
Man. Hey, I just wanted to thank you guys for creating such a cool community. And just let you know, the way I draft is different. I don't put a lot on the measurables, the tangibles. Most of my draft picks come from the intangibles. Specifically, I like team scheme. For instance, someone just took Shedeur. I love him if he's in the right scheme. If he's got a running game and he's got an offensive line. If I were Indy, I would have wanted him so bad because I think he's going to be very successful in that scheme. New Orleans, he could do well there too. But there's a lot of teams where he'd just be a washout. He wouldn't work. So team scheme is important for me. I also like football IQ and instincts. You can't really put a number on that. You can look at a guy like Zach Thomas. There's your football IQ and instinct. Tom Brady's another one. Neither went high in the draft. And when they're playing football, are they anticipatory?
Anticipatory.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. I could use the help. Anticipatory or reactive? Do they know where they want to be? Are they thinking when they're out there? Also, I like durability. Players that are injured, as we all know, the Chris Greer players, they can't help you if they're not on the field. So I look at that. I also look at character. If they're going to be in trouble. If they're in trouble in college, there's a good chance they're going to be in trouble in pros when they have money and more time on their hands, less supervision. And the last thing I look at is drive. Do they even want to be out there? Some of these guys don't even want to be out there. So that's what I mainly go with the intangibles. When I get down to two players and I like them both the same, I look at tangibles. I look at speed. I look at I look at their physical body and how they match up, and that's my tiebreaker. So that's my process, Josh. And I noticed you asked that question. Thank you very much, because you made me go a little deeper into how I draft and why I draft. Now, have I bulliated enough? Is it bulliation, Mike?
Bloviating.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Bloviating.
Very good.
Yes.
Bulliation or pontification. Have I used up my minute and a half?
You're close. So I got the megaphone ready. Let's go.
All right.
San Francisco picking.
The pick is in. This was my top pick on the board for San Francisco. I'll take Mr. Tyler Warren, the tight end from Penn State. I love him.
Got to start to prepare for life after George Kittle. Absolutely.
Yeah, and with him, I love both of them in the 12. I mean, Kyle Shanahan is a genius. The minute you put him on the field, your running game just got better. Your passing game just got better. I mean, not many tight ends can help you in both areas. Usually it's one or the other. So this guy, I wanted an offensive lineman, but you know what? I really love the pick. I'm delighted here.
Yeah,
right.
Brady, that is a fantastic pick. I like that pick of Tyler
Great
Warren
player.
there. So thank you for making that pick there at number 11 for the San Francisco 49ers. That's going to take us to number 12 to the Dallas Cowboys, and drawing this pick for the Cowboys is going to be Craig. So let me find Craig here. There he is. Craig, you're on.
Hey, what's
Craig,
going on?
how you doing?
Pretty good. How about you guys?
Not too bad.
Greg.
So with the Cowboys, I think I'm gonna go with Tatario McMillan. I feel like they need another receiver to pair with CeeDee Lamb. They've struggled the last few years to have that second wide receiver that the Cowboys need.
That is absolutely, I think, a great pick. That is definitely something that the Cowboys have needed for a long time. And Tech McMillan seems to be, one of those.
Oh, I think we lost Josh. I think we lost Josh because he froze up too. But here, as we get Josh back, we do have a live look at the Cowboys celebrating the pick. I think they're very happy with your pick here, Craig.
And the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
It's been a long time since they celebrated like that in Dallas.
Exactly. They're pretty similar to Miami, I think.
Oh, yes, they are.
They don't beat the good teams. Everybody always believes the hype, and they don't really live up to it. My brother's a big Cowboys fan, so he's in the same boat that we are, I think.
Pretty much, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Once great, proud franchises who have fallen to the bottom of the league.
Exactly.
The last time they were at their peak, they won Super Bowls. So
exactly, yeah.
I know.
So, well, excellent pick there, Craig. We like it. And let's see, who's
13? Magic pick.
13. Oh, it's time to go to Jeffrey Johnston with the awesome responsibility.
No pressure here, Jeff.
No pressure at all, guys. Yeah.
No.
Listen, you have the awesome responsibility of making this pick for the Miami Dolphins. And what you have to understand is that this is real. Okay, there are real consequences here. If you screw this team up, if you screw this pick up, it's going to be like this team hasn't won a championship in 50 years.
So I shouldn't reach for Dart at this point? That's what you're saying?
Well, actually, in the eyes of some, you'd probably be a hero. But in the eyes of many, you're probably going to get a lot of grief. But just remember what Chris Greer said this week when he was talking to the press, how a fan sent him a shirt that said, "Don't F this up."
Yeah.
So people might be sending you shirts that say, "Don't F this up" if you make a bad pick.
Listen, I just want to say, Jeff, there's no pressure, but
no pressure. Fire Greer.
Fire Greer. Nice.
Okay.
We got to mail Chris one of them shirts.
So I just want you to know, it's not going to take a whole lot to have this shirt say "Fire Jeffrey Johnston." So
we'll have it in the store by tomorrow morning.
I don't get paid as much as Greer though, too, either, right? So
fair enough. All right.
Before you make this pick, are you happy with the way the board has landed?
Yeah, the guy I wanted is there. So I think it's the guy that a lot of us are hoping they take. So, and we know Greer's not concerned with the line, so he's not going to go there. So yeah.
So with the top fullback on the board. No,
with the 13th pick, the Dolphins will select Will Johnson.
All right, Will Johnson.
Ding, 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 ding.
Now look, we have a lot of feedback. Okay, go, Jeff.
We need someone to pick off Josh Allen up here. That's what we need more than
damn right we do.
Because I live 10 miles from the stadium, so it's.
Oh, I know. Poor thing. God bless you. A lot of feedback. Let's check in with Mike McDaniel, see how he feels about the pick.
I mean, check your pulse if you're not fired up.
Now, so he's very happy with the pick, but I will say there's someone who might not be pleased with what you just did, and he wants to verbalize this only as the way he can. So, Jeff, I'm glad you're sitting down because someone's not a fan of your work.
Has got to be the most incompetent nincompoop that has ever been fucking GM of any sport in any league. This guy is a joke. He's a fucking clown. He doesn't take anything fucking serious. He's laughing at us saying, I think it's it. We want to just get you guys off our fucking backs. You know he just told the fan base today? Fuck you! I'm incompetent. I got a job for life here. I know deep dark secrets about the owner. I can't get fired no matter what the fuck I do. He has not drafted properly. He's been in the organization for 25 years. He hasn't won a playoff game in 25 years. And it gets worse. Jalen Ramsey, big cap hit coming. Can't draft, can't pick players. All he just wants to do is skill position. And thinks he's going to draft a quarterback this year. When a good draft's available next year, when they're going to tank and be 3-14, they're probably going to trade draft picks and get band-aids and they're going to fix this thing because he's an idiot.
Wow.
I could watch it forever. It's so good. It's so good.
New York City coming strong there. Wow.
That's the thing. He's outside on the street. Nobody thinks it's not normal. Walking by, businesses out. Totally dying. I love that guy. He's the best.
Unbelievable. Well, Jeff, good work there.
Good work.
There's I know there are opinions all over the map there, but you made the objectively correct pick for the Miami Dolphins in that situation. So well done. Well done to Jeff. I'm glad the board fell that way for him. And that is going to take us to pick number 14 for the Indianapolis Colts, who this was supposed to be Patrick Mullen, but he had a medical emergency, so is not able to be with us today. I've checked in with him. Everything is okay. He's going to be okay. Everybody is fine. He's just not able to participate in the draft this evening, which is unfortunate. But I am going to pick for him at pick 14. And the pick that I'm going to make, listen, I had my heart set on Tyler Warren right here for the Indianapolis Colts, but with Tyler Warren taking a trip out west to San Francisco, I'm looking at the next tight end on the board, and this is a guy that has shot up the board in recent weeks. He's getting a lot of positive buzz around him, and as I think, if you're looking for an alternative, your tight end 2 in the draft, you might not even call him the tight end 2 in this draft. You might call him the tight end 1A, but I am drafting Colston Loveland from the University of Michigan, from Michigan, to take on the role of tight end for the Indianapolis Colts and follow in the brilliant footsteps of such luminaries as Dallas Clark.
Yeah, he's someone who has a ton of buzz heading into next week. I don't know if I told you or if I was talking to someone else on a podcast. I can't remember now because I've had so many. That Matt Miller of ESPN, who does this stuff year round, has him on his overall board. Just take away the positions, ranking guys, number 6 overall. He thinks he's going to go before Warren. Pat Kerwin, SiriusXM, he's got him number 7 overall. Had him going to Miami last week. I don't think he's going to go to Miami, but the people who love this kid think he is like a top 5 or 6, 7 player in this draft, and they think he should go top 10. And I would not be shocked if he does go top 10 with Warren as well, who probably is going to go around the same spot as him. They're each going to go rather quickly in this draft. If both of those guys are on the board, or if one of those guys is on the board after pick 14, I'd kind of be shocked. I think they're both going to be gone in the top 14 or so of this draft. He's got the most buzz heading into next week. People love him as a receiver. He's that good from the tight end spot.
So that's the pick for the Indianapolis Colts. And next we have, we're bringing our last member of the draft pool onto the air who has not yet joined us today, but he's here in the chat, or he was in the chat. Is he still here? Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. There he is. Kalen is here. Is it Kalen? Callan? Tell me, am I saying it right?
You know what? I'll go by Kalen. I'll go by Callan. It's fine either way. Whatever sounds good.
Well, which do you prefer?
I'll go Callan. We'll go Callan.
Callan. Great. So Callan, it's to you. You are drafting for the Atlanta Falcons. What's on your mind here?
Well, what's on my mind is I was feeling great up until the last 4 players I wanted were taken just before me. So I guess we're going to go on to number 5 here, and Malachi Starks.
Okay.
The defense kind of lacking. What better get a little nice little safety play there in the secondary and keep somebody home too. Sell some jerseys because Lord knows we need it.
Yes, yes, indeed. I really like this pick for the Falcons.
Yeah, I like it too. He's the top safety in this whole draft. Is very good. And unlike Eman Wari, who's also very good, he's a true safety, Starks, where he can kind of like Minka was in Miami, where he can play him at corner, strong safety, free safety. You can slide this guy around. He's very good.
Absolutely.
I like this pick as well. To me, Malachi Starks is the best safety on the board because Eman Wari, you're kind of swinging for the fences with his athletic profile. Malachi Starks is just a football player. All he does is play well. High football IQ. He's where he's supposed to be, and he plays at a high level every down. It's not hard to project him as being a quality starting safety in this league for a long time. So I love that pick.
So excellent job there, Callan. We'll talk to you in a little bit for your next pick this evening. So taking a look at the board, where that is going to bring us back to So Patrick had this interesting situation where he was actually going to be making 2 out of 3 picks, because he made the pick for Indianapolis and his next pick was 2 picks later, the Arizona Cardinals. But since he's not here, this pick is going to go to Mike. So Mike, you're drafting for Arizona. Who do you like here?
Yeah, this fell perfectly for Arizona and what they need. They're about 1 offensive lineman away or so. They need 1 more big body on that offensive line up front who can help. And they're going to take a guy who can play a little tackle. And if he needs to play guard, he can play guard. And Calvin Banks out of Texas is the pick. And I watched Texas a lot this year, and he was a beast. Now, I know, when you dive into tape, some of these guys do so much work and they like nitpick every little thing, which I get. It's fair when you're investing in the first round pick, but sometimes you just got to take a step back, look at the big picture. This guy has everything you want in a tackle, and I think he's going to be a great pro for many years. Compared to the other 2 who went, is he as good as them? Maybe not, probably not, but he's still very, very good and worthy of going 16th. Calvin Banks, Texas.
Excellent. So that brings us to the Cincinnati Bengals. And to make that pick, we are bringing Jacob Fowler back to the stage. Jacob, this is a little bit different journey this time around. Last time it was pretty cut and dry for you, drafting for Tennessee. Now you've got Cincinnati at 17. What are you thinking here?
Well, this one I actually had to think about who I wanted. And obviously, since the Bengals have 90% of their cap on one side of the ball, they have to go cheap on defense, so they got to take what they can get. They need some bad trenches help. I think they look similar to us. So with that pick, I am picking Walter Nolan.
Walter Nolan is the pick here, the DT from Ole Miss.
Yes, sir.
Now, let me ask you.
Size and athleticism. So, I think he'll fit good. He kind of reminds me of Christian Wilkins a bit. Slide him around. You can play a little end. You can play over the nose. It doesn't matter. 3 tech, 1 tech.
Excellent. I like that pick. It's a good one, and it is an area of need for sure for the Cincinnati Bengals. So nice pick there, Jacob. You've got one more pick later this evening, so we'll bring you back for that one. Now we're going to move forward from Cincinnati. We're going to go to Seattle. We're going to bring Brady back onto the air, and Brady is going to make a pick for the Seattle Seahawks. What are you thinking here, Brady?
I tell you what, Callan broke my heart. My favorite player in the draft was Malachi Starks. I came within 2 or 3 of getting him. I really wanted him. So, Mike, you also broke my heart too. I had him in there as well. That was a great pick. So I'm down to what they really need. Their new offensive coordinator is a guy named Clint Kubiak. I don't know much about him. Mike, you might know. He's a college guy, is he?
No, he's the son of Gary Kubiak, who's also from that same trio: Mike McDaniel, Sean McVay.
Okay.
And that whole group, Shanahan, they all think that they all share the same brain. So it's the same type of guy.
Well, he's going to love me. I'm going to go with Matthew Golden. Give him a first class receiver to go with.
They did lose a lot of wide receivers. They lost them all essentially.
Yeah.
So this is a big need.
Yeah. Nope. That's why I'm going to take it.
Good pick.
Excellent pick there, Brady. We like that one very much. I think it's a very good fit for Seattle there. We're going to keep this moving, and we're going to go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who Mr. McDolphin is going to be drafting for here. So Mr. McDolphin previously drafted for the disgusting New York Jets. Now he's drafting for the disgusting Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You're on fire this evening.
They're not as bad as the Jets. Come on now.
No, well, who could be?
Right, exactly. Maybe the Bills. Fuck the Bills. Fuck the Bills. Fuck the Bills. Would that work? Is that a song?
Don't push it.
Yeah, I'm not picking for the Bills. If I was, we would be singing it. Believe that.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Tampa Bay fan. I remember the good old days. When they won the Super Bowl. I'm talking about way before Brady. Way before. And I have a friend that's a lifelong Tampa Bay fan. So my research just was on him, and I was like, he knows the Tampa Bay Buccaneers like I do the Dolphins. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, what do you want them to do? So what we're going to do is what my friend would want them to do, and that's secondary. And the cool thing is I have both of the guys that they talked about still on the board. He really wanted my Malachi Starks, who is already off the board, really sucks. But he was talking about Jahad Barron And then, and Mike, you've done a lot of stuff on Jihad Barron when you were thinking about maybe
Yeah.
the Dolphins would go that way. And so he's kind of, yeah, I think that's what they're going to do. Is they're going to take probably, if you count Travis Hunter, the third best cornerback in this draft. You know what I'm saying?
Third or second, all depending how some people view Will Johnson. But
Right.
no, he's really good. 2023 nickel corner, probably the best in the country nickel. Last year for Texas, he moved outside. I'm not saying he was the best on the outside, but man, he was good on the outside too. You can move him around inside, outside, versatility, super, super fast, which is why I think if times back to the Dolphins real quick, if they have a choice between him and Will Johnson, I'm not so sure they're going to take Will Johnson because we know how much they love speed. This guy's way faster than Johnson. So no, he has won me over the past month.
You can kind of move him around too, right?
Yes, you can move him around. And
he played
yeah,
like this last year he played on the boundaries, but he's played in like 3-4 different positions in the backfield.
Swiss Army.
He was not my first pick. My first pick was Jalen Walker, just because any dude that can play linebacker and it come up at an edge, he's Bama fucking. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I would love him. He is not going to fall this far.
Absolutely.
Or in the draft. I would love
So
Miami actually. And then
so the pick here for Mr. McDolphin is Jahdae Barron. That's right?
Yeah, we're going Barron.
Excellent.
We're going Barron.
Okay, so Jahdae Barron goes to Tampa Bay at number 19. Thank you, Mr. McDolphin. We'll talk to you in a little bit, and we are going to keep this moving now to Denver. We're going to cross the country. We're going to go to the Rocky Mountains. We're going to bring in a pick for the Denver Broncos. We're going to bring Mike back to the stage. Mike, you got to make this draft pick for the Denver Broncos, who were a team that kind of arrived on the scene, I think, a little earlier than most people expected this past season, and now find themselves in a pretty good spot. What are you thinking for the Denver Broncos in this year's draft?
Well, for me, I feel like Sean Payton loves his playmakers, but unfortunately, the best running back, the best two wide receivers, the best two tight ends are gone. They could go with a second cornerback, but he's, the best two guys are off the board. So obviously, probably I would feel like they would want to trade back maybe or something in this, or maybe even up to get somebody that was already gone. But kind of thought Jihad Campbell here, but I feel like he's probably the best athlete on the board at the moment. But I think I'm going to go Emeka Egbuka. I think he's a solid receiver for them. I feel like he can maybe step up if what's his name leaves.
Cortland Sutton, Denzel Mims.
He ends up leaving, or if he can step in there in that role. So I think that'd be the pick for them.
Yeah, I like that pick.
I do too.
Egbuka is a pick that I've seen dropping down a little bit further in the draft, but based on how this board has played out, I think that's probably a pretty good pick for the Broncos here, based on just how the board has fallen for them, because I think they're definitely going to be looking for an offensive weapon there. So I don't mind that pick there at all.
In Ohio State wide receivers, you can't go wrong because they almost all hit. Same thing with LSU wide receivers. Those two schools just pump wide receivers in the NFL, and almost all the time they hit. So it's like a safe pick too. Good and safe.
Yeah, absolutely. So a very good pick there, Mike. We're going to go from your pick with Denver, and we're going to go back to Anthony Mancini, who is now going to pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers, an organization that is just an absolute mess right now. I think if I'm looking at the situation in Miami and the situation at Pittsburgh, I'm not sure which one is better, with the exception of the one thing that makes me feel better about Pittsburgh's situation is that they've got a head coach who I think is an air of stability and legitimacy, and is somebody that knows what he's doing, even though that he has a growing there is growing discontent in the Pittsburgh Steelers fan base. The Yinzers are getting a little unhappy with what Mike Tomlin is doing. But Anthony, you got to make this pick for the Steelers. So how are you going to make this situation right for the folks in Pittsburgh?
Shedeur Sanders obviously was going to be the pick till you took him at 9. So The other player I thought was an absolute easiest pick. I would literally run up there if I was them. Is Derek Carmen. They need a D tackle. They need D defensive line. I think he's easily the next one. I'm actually surprised. I thought Mike Green would be a little bit earlier than that, but that was the other one. And maybe Omarion Hampton might be an option because their running game. They need a running game, but I don't know. I don't think they would take him there. But I think Derek Carmen's the pick easy.
Okay, there it is. Derek Harmon, the defensive tackle from Oregon, is going to Pittsburgh to the Steelers. Excellent pick, Anthony. That is going to take us to the Los Angeles Chargers, and making the pick for the Chargers is the intense farmer himself, Zane. Zane, welcome back, and let's get into it. Who you got here for the Chargers?
All right. Well, before I make the pick, I'd just like to raise a glass to y'all for everything that y'all do, as well as in the chat. I don't know what everyone's sipping on, but just cheers to everybody.
Salud. I'm chasing my ice cream with water.
Just water for me too.
Well, I think that this would be exactly what Jim Harbaugh would want for the board to break. I think that, much like Jacob, I had a lot more fun preparing for this pick rather than the first two, because like I said earlier, it was just between Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter for that one. But whereas the Chargers, I got to kind of wait, see how the board breaks. I had a longer list of people that I feel like they would take. But if it was to break this way, I think he would run up the ticket for his guy that he had at Michigan. I think they also need help in the trenches, same as we do. And I think he would take Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle out of Michigan.
All right. I like it. Kenneth Grant to the Chargers at 22.
Yes.
A guy that a lot of people were for the Dolphins were thinking that was a possibility should he be around at 48. But in this particular draft, that is not going to be the situation. But I do like the pick for the Chargers. Almost called them San Diego just there for the Chargers in this situation. So good pick there, Zane. Let's keep moving here. Let's keep this train going. We're making good time. We're back to Mike. Mike, you're picking for the Green Bay Packers here.
Hometown team, site of the draft, the Packers, and one in Rome. You put on your cheese head. One in Rome. So here's the deal. Packers got some needs here. Cornerbacks in need, but there's not one here I like at 23, so I'm not going to go there. And the one thing that their head coach sort of stressed after the end of the year from a little bit of research I did was we got to fix this pass rush. We need to get after the quarterback here in the NFC. And even though he's got some off the field issues, and if you want to know what they are, Google it. I'm not going to go through them. Mike Green out of Marshall is a guy who can get after the quarterback. And we're going to take him up to Green Bay, where it's going to be kind of tough to get in any trouble because it's Green frickin' Bay. And we're going with Mike Green. The Cheeseheads are going to be happy.
I like it. A nice pick there for the Green Bay Packers at 23. That's going to take us back to Craig at 24, who's going to make the pick here for the Minnesota Vikings. Craig, how are things up north?
Cold in Minnesota, I'm assuming.
And you're getting booed by the Packers fans right now, just so you know.
So it was between either defense or offensive line, I think, for Minnesota. They're pretty set at receiver. They're going to go with McCarthy at quarterback this year. I'm going to go with Tyler Booker, the offensive guard from Alabama.
I think that's a good pick for the Vikings there. Boost that offensive line, protect that
exactly.
quarterback. And it's a very, very solid pick there. I like it.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Thank you, Craig.
You're welcome.
We're gonna keep the train moving here and go to Houston, where Aaron the Brain is going to make a pick for the Houston Texans.
So look, the Houston Texans traded their franchise left
Houston
tackle.
Texans would be a very different organization.
Yeah, they could use some Tekken fighters to play left tackle for them. Absolutely. After trading Laramie Tunsil. And but they went out and they signed Cam Robinson, and they gave him on a 1-year deal like $14 million to play left tackle. So I think he's playing left tackle for them. And so, I could go guard here. Booker just went off the board, but I don't think he's necessarily the best scheme fit for Houston anyway, because they're looking for more of a zone blocker. In very much a Laramie Tunsil fashion, I think Josh Simmons, who would have possibly been the best left tackle on the board had he not been coming off of an injury, got injured very early in the season for Ohio State. He may have been the top tackle on the board, and I think he can slot right in and play guard for a year and then make the transition to left tackle, which helps Houston fill the guard spot in the short term for a team that is trying to win right now, and then also gives them their franchise left tackle for the future. So Josh Simmons is the pick there for me for the Houston Texans.
Very good. Josh Simmons, another big offensive lineman for the Houston Texans. Next up is number 26, the LA Rams. Abel is coming back to the stage. Abel, do you have does your cousin have a Rams hat also?
So it was my brother who likes the Jaguars, but I don't have. I know people.
Brother, not your cousin, brother.
Yeah, I know people that like the Rams, but not close enough to carry something from them. So the Rams here, they had a pretty good season last year. That was probably our best win. As being Dolphins fans, that Monday night game. You kind of see the rest of their season. It's like, how the hell did we beat them? Us
very
going
true.
cross country on prime time with Mike McDaniel, and we win a game. Wow, that's crazy. But hey, to tell them something, don't tell a team that plays in warm weather or that plays in a dome that they can't win in the cold, because they almost took it to the Eagles last year in that great playoff game. So, I'm happy with the way that the board here fell. When I was doing kind of mocks, the Texans kept taking the guy that I wanted. I'm going to go ahead and take a Jihad Campbell, a linebacker from Alabama.
I like it. Jihad Campbell to LA. I mean, that defense is going to be ferocious.
If not for his injury, he'd be long gone by
Yeah.
now. But I think that shoulder thing is going to scare a few teams, and he might fall around here. But he is probably one of the 10 or 12 best players in this draft.
Doug's real big on that guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like that pick there, Abel. So well done. Let's bring up Ray Cavedo, because Ray, you've got to make a pick now for the Baltimore Ravens, who somehow always picking late in the first round, always tend to really get it together and really seem to hit on their picks. So who do you have at 27 for the Baltimore Ravens?
I originally had Malachi Starks going to them, but I guess he got a little bit picked up earlier. So I know they need some help in the secondary. So pretty much now they're at a point that they're just probably going to pick whatever's best available in the secondary. And for me, it's going to be Nick. And I'm going to mess up that name. Imamori. There you go.
Yeah.
And this is a team that it's just every year, I don't know what's going on. I just see them from being a top team and they just crumble at the end of every single game. I don't know what's going on with that team, but I hope they keep crumbling, because we need the help wherever we can get. But oh man, that team just looks scary when they're playing in the middle of the season, and I don't know where they're gone. So I hope they keep crumbling, but oh man.
This is a great pick for the Ravens, because he looks like a Ravens guy. Total athlete, can move around. He just looks like a Raven.
Like, the Ravens are going to do one thing. They're going to draft athletes. They are going to draft the freaks. And Nick Emmanwori is one of the freaks of this draft. It's such a Ravens pick, and I love it. I think it's a steal at 27.
Yeah,
we have a live look. We have a live look. I'm sorry, Jess. I'm sorry to cut you off here. We have a live look at the Ravens celebrating their pick. This is interesting. They are really excited with your pick, Ray. Yeah, they are loving your pick, Ray. You made
the whole
city of Baltimore. You made the whole city of Baltimore happy, especially John Harbaugh.
Oh man. Awesome.
Absolutely. Well, excellent pick there, Ray, and well done. Obviously, when the shoe fits, wear it. And Nick Emmanwori to the Ravens absolutely fits. Let's go to the Detroit Lions. Jeffrey Johnston coming back. Jeff, what are you thinking here at this spot for the Detroit Lions?
Far less pressure this time, Jeff.
Way less pressure. But Dan Campbell could do whatever. He could go anywhere. As far as I know, he could take a running back here. It's Dan Campbell. But they need defensive line help, right? I mean, they got hurt last year, couldn't pressure the quarterback, and that's why they lost. So I think they just take the next best edge guy, and that's Mikael Williams, next guy. I mean, they need that line help, kind of like the Dolphins, like a lot of teams.
Yes, absolutely. I like that pick very much. And in fact, that was somebody that I was thinking of in with the next pick that I'm going to make. So I think a very strong pick right there for the Lions. Well done, sir.
Thank you.
So that brings it to me picking for the Washington Commanders. And, I think for me, this is it's really about the edge for Washington. And I think that's like this team has been built particularly well. And the fact that they hit on the quarterback last year, they are a team that is ready to kind of make that leap forward, but they really do need some help at the edge. And to me, as I'm looking at this draft board for them, the guy that I'm looking at is James Pierce Jr. because he's a big guy, athletic guy, a speed guy, an agility guy, and he can really rush the passer in a strong way. And he is, I think, the candidate for me that I think is the best fit for this Washington Commanders team here at pick number 29. So give me James Pierce Jr. edge from Tennessee for the Washington football team.
Good pick. They nailed last year's draft, not just with the quarterback, just throughout. They nailed it. And it's a team who is going to I still think they're going to win a Super Bowl when that kid's on his rookie contract. Might not be this year, obviously, but that quarterback was so stinking good that in the next, 5 years or so, they're going to win a Super Bowl. I mean, they just getting rid of the owner, hint, hint, get a new owner, hint, hint, really helps some organizations. Then you put someone competent in charge, and from top down, you can fix things rather quickly.
Amazing how that works.
Shocking how that works.
Well, from the Washington Commanders, we now go to the disgusting, horrible, no good, very bad Buffalo Bills, and we're bringing Callan back to make that pick. So, Callan, now I want to make sure that you don't tank this pick on purpose. Please don't draft a punter. We need you to take it seriously for the Buffalo Bills here. So, who do you have Buffalo taking here at pick number 30?
So, not Jalen Milroe.
Not
That's
Jalen.
Not an option. Okay.
Would probably be the wrong pick for Buffalo at this point.
All right, fine. Well, in that case, I actually do have my two guys on the board here still. And I got one that I'm really looking at. But I'm afraid I don't know, maybe Kansas City's going to swoop up on the other one and I just can't. I'm going with the Marion Hampton. A little worried about losing James Cook. He's one to get paid, like big paid.
He has his house for sale. Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, so all right, so maybe good then.
Yeah, good's right because he plans on moving. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations to Marion, and James. Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Yeah, and Marion, I hope you like the snow because you're going to get plenty of it up there in Buffalo. Thank you, Callan.
Absolutely.
I love
to go.
Yeah, and I love an organization having foresight and saying, "Hey, we've got a guy that wants to get paid in free agency. Maybe we should draft his replacement while he's still here."
Yeah.
And so the Bills do the proactive thing. They draft a running back in the first round. That's the way to handle these running backs.
BPA, yep.
If the value is there and you've got a good running back that you can draft, you draft him. You use the heck out of them on their first contract, and then you don't pay them, you replace them. I think that's a brilliant move by the Bills there.
And by taking them here, you get the fifth-year option, that extra year to use them.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, let's go to pick number 31 here in the draft. It's the Kansas City Chiefs. We're bringing Mike back on to make this pick. So, Mike, your third pick of the evening, this time for the Kansas City Chiefs, the AFC champion, the 5-time AFC. No, they 4 times in a row they've been the AFC champion. Who do you got here at pick number 31?
Well, just so you know, I hate the Chiefs, but the thing is in the trenches, they need help. They need help, offense and defensive trenches. I mean, I don't know. I really want to go Donovan Jackson because he's got guard tackle flexibility, but I mean, Gray Zabel's sitting there looking at me on the board. I mean, I'm just going to have to go Gray Zabel. There's no way to deny that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good pick for Kansas City here as well. They do need some help on the offensive line. It was very clear at the end of last season, and I think that's a way to boost it. And they've been able to do that in the draft before, so I like that pick there for them at 31.
And we do have our last clip of the evening here, live looking at Andy Reid, see what's on his mind as this pick has now been made.
Explain it again with those nuggies.
Andy Reid likes to pick, just wants some nuggies.
Excellent job there, Mike. And that is going to take us to our final pick of the evening. We're bringing him back. He made the first pick of the night. Now he's going to make the last pick of the night for the Philadelphia Eagles. Jacob Fowler, welcome back to the stage. Here we go. Close this out strong. Who are the Eagles taking with the final pick in round 1 of the 2025 Dolphins Talk Xtra mock draft?
So the Eagles always like to go best player available. And they're usually a Georgia player somewhere on the board. That's usually a go. But I'm going to change things up a little bit, and go with a little. It's a pick that makes sense because they've heard them talk about it with Dallas Goedert being on the trade block and all that. And seen some mock drafts. It's all Adam Schefter put him there once. And we are going Mason Taylor to the Eagles.
Look at that. There we go.
Might as well have some fun.
Exactly. It's the last pick you're allowed. And plus,
yeah, exactly.
Philadelphia can't do nothing wrong anyways. Everyone they take turns to gold. But
I mean, if he goes there, he'll be a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, exactly. Mason obviously has the genes, second generation, all that stuff, from both sides of his family, mom and dad. Well, not mom per se, but you know what I mean from Zach's side.
Yeah.
But that's he will. Here's the thing. I don't know if he'll go round 1, but I think by pick 48 Miami, not that they would take him, he ain't going to be there. So he could go anywhere from here to 42, 43, 44, 45, somewhere in that range. He is that good.
Definitely.
Excellent. So a fantastic pick there, Jacob. 3 great picks for you this evening. Let us review the board here so that everybody can see how the draft played out for us. Reviewing the draft, Cam Ward went number 1 overall to Tennessee. Travis Hunter to Cleveland. Abdul Carter to the Giants at 3. At 4, Will Campbell to the Patriots. At 5, Mason Graham to the Jaguars. At 6, Ashton Genty to the Raiders. At 7, Armand Membu to the Jets. At 8, Jalen Walker to the Carolina Panthers. At 9, Shadur Sanders to the New Orleans Saints. At 10, Shamar Stewart to the Chicago Bears. At 11, Tyler Warren to the San Francisco 49ers. At 12, Tet McMillan to the Dallas Cowboys. At 13, Will Johnson to your Miami Dolphins. At 14, Colston Loveland to the Indianapolis Colts. Malachi Starks goes at 15 to the Atlanta Falcons. Kelvin Banks goes 16 to the Arizona Cardinals. Walter Nolan goes 17 to the Cincinnati Bengals. Matthew Golden goes 18 to the Seattle Seahawks. Jahdae Barron goes 19 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Emeka Egbuka goes number 20 to the Denver Broncos. Derek Harmon goes at number 21 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kenneth Grant at 22 to the LA Chargers. Mike Green goes at 23 to the Green Bay Packers. Tyler Booker at 24 to the Vikings. Josh Simmons goes at number 25 to the Houston Texans. Jihad Campbell goes at number 26 to the LA Rams. Nick Emanwari goes at number 27 to the Baltimore Ravens. Michael Williams goes at number 28 to the Detroit Lions. James Pierce Jr. goes at number 29 to the Washington Commanders. Omarion Hampton at number 30 to the Buffalo Bills. Gray Zabel at 31 to the Kansas City Chiefs. And at number 32, Mason Taylor, the tight end from Louisiana State University, is drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us today, for taking part in the first ever Dolphins Talk Extra mock draft. We just had an absolutely great time doing this with you today. We hope that you had fun as well. Thank you for being participants. Thank you for being subscribers at Dolphins Talk Extra. We appreciate it very much. And we hope that we are giving you lots of great value here on the service. And we're hopeful that we're going to be able to continue to do that all through the off season. So
let's talk next week. We got a big week next week.
That's
right.
right.
We have a happy hour on Wednesday. We have a happy hour. So guys, you can join us, and obviously not like this. We can just talk whatever. You can pop on with us, talk about who Miami might take, might not take, who you want them to take, what you think for their strategy, round 1, 2, 3, all that stuff. So that's what, Wednesday at 8, guys? Or is it 8:30?
8 o'clock. Yep, 8 o'clock on Wednesday.
Okay. And then Thursday, Friday, we're on the free side, so it's not extra exclusive free side. We're going to be live at least through when Miami picks. So pick number 13, we might stay on for another pick or two talking about what Miami did. We're going to end. And then second night, who's ever can join, I know I'll be on. I'm not so sure if you guys are or not, but we'll do it through pick 48, same deal. And we got some surprises coming. I'll say one of them because I already said it on the show today. Friday, Allie Dolph is going to join us live from Green Bay. She's going to be there. She's going to jump on for 5 or 10 minutes as our live correspondent on the scene. Jump in, and I got a few other guys who are going to, people that you might know, who are going to pop on those nights and join us for a few minutes. So that's going to be on the free side Thursday, Friday. So please be sure you're with us those nights. As you watch the draft, you're going to just turn down the volume on the TV and listen to us because we're going to have some fun. That's right.
That's right.
Who wants your Mel Kiper for the 800th year in a row? I mean, come on.
That's right. Like we said, everybody and their mother is going to be live on draft.
Everyone's
night.
going to be
Might as
live,
well
but we're
spend
gonna
it
have
with
the
the
most
Dolphin
fun.
fans.
Yeah.
That's right. We're going to have a good time. So thanks for participating. Thanks again for being subscribers. We appreciate it. And we'll catch you next week for Dolphins Talk Extra Happy Hour. But until then, take care of yourselves and each other. And as always, go Dolphins.
I didn't have to use the megaphone tonight. Good job, everybody.
Great job, everybody.